of live streaming via Restream. And I'm happy to be here in perfect action. So, welcome to this stream. And today I want to discuss a very important topic for a few minutes to demystify the topic of why do we struggle to find and sustain flow and happiness in our lives. And I wanted to offer you some important food for thought. And imagine, is it possible to wake up each day with a sense of purpose and clarity, effortlessly gliding through our task with a smiling on our face? Well, this sounds like a dream, and it is a dream really for many people. And today I want to unlock the steps to maintain or create a state of flow and happiness so you can work towards a life that is more fulfilling and it's possible. However, I want to welcome you all to today's presentation. And I haven't been restreaming for a while because I was doing more events for New Life Coach and the topics that my program, Reclaim Your Vision, Rewrite Your Story, offers. And my ideal audience is women in the crossroads of career and life, wanting to redefine their future on their own terms, whatever that is. And I love to hear more from some of you. So I want to welcome you. I'm in Newcastle today. This week, I traveled last week through the east coast of Victoria and New South Wales, discovering amazing places. And I arrived in Newcastle last Friday. So today is Tuesday. For our friends in the United States and other parts of the world, it's still Monday night. So I wanted to explore the science behind flow and the obstacles that prevent us for feeling this or experiencing a state of flow and happiness. Personally, I wanted to demystify this because there is a lot of noise in our everyday life, in our everyday world through social media and all people around posing to be experts. Well, that may include me. However, I want to live a life of meaning and purpose, and my purpose is to help many women redefine their future and understanding. So I am here taking that uh, purpose by communicating my message, my mission, and my vision for myself and to help you as well to connect with your mission and your vision and create that message. But the flow is a mental state where a person is or feels fully immersed in an activity, experiencing energized focus and full involvement with enjoyment. Happiness also is a state of well being and contentment. So there is no constant state of flow and happiness, but they are moment to moment states that we can achieve depending on our level of awareness. So I want you to imagine here that the what we hear as the being in the zone is where time flies effortlessly because you are engaged, we are engaged in doing what we're doing. And I want you to think of happiness as a warm and fuzzy day after a long winter where you just feel so comfortable. So want you to think about musicians, artists, children that they get lost in playing not only an instrument, but in developing creative ideas with a painting, for example, or children involved in Lego work or playing in the sand, creating sandcastles, etc. And so children easily enter this state of flow during play when they are deeply engaged in activities like I mentioned before, building blocks, or they even reading a story and imagining a world of their own. It's wonderful to see that. But it is also wonderful when children can focus intently on activities that interested, whether they have an adult with them that are encouraged then to have this motivation to try, motivation to aim, motivation to make mistakes and feel that nurturing around it. And that creates an opportunity to develop a state of flow without feeling intimidated, without that fear of failing of any shape or form. So these activities that allow us expression and imagination, drawing, storytelling, role playing, are particularly conducive to flow. So I want parents that foster that encouragement in their children to seek out positive challenges. Could be riding a bicycle or going into a flying fox, trying something, climbing on a tree. I remember when I was a child, my parents didn't like me at all to climb on trees. And but when I went to the park with my dad, it was a very cool dude. So I felt that was okay for me to climb on the highest branches and call out. So that was feeling encouraged to do things that I was not able to do if my mother was there, for example, because she was a very anxious person. And having supportive environments helps us also to gain that state of flow and feeling happiness. So the biggest problem that we are discussing here is that why do we struggle to find and sustain the flow in our busy lives? But the distractions of modern life, the stresses of multitasking, and women that are also managing multiple activities with work, leading teams, being the sole parent of a family and taking children to different activities, and the noise of their social media, telephone or apps and so on can pull us very quickly out of a state of flow. So I wanted to demystify a few concepts here, that flow is only felt during work. Well, let's demystify this, that the state of flow is a deep immersion and enjoyment of any activity. So it could well be in work, if you love your job. There are many people that experience unhappiness and a drag in their 9 to 5 job because they are experiencing problems in the culture, they're not being challenged, they're just there for the pay, and that is soul destroying to a state of happiness and flow. But when we engage in hobbies, sports activities, creative pursuits, or even doing some work at home, organizing something that you want, cooking a meal that presents a positive element of challenge and then receiving the feedback of the wonderful results, it offers us a path to have a state of flow and happiness. The second myth is that happiness is a constant state. And I wanted to demystify this. As I mentioned before, we live in a very noisy environment, and happiness is not a perpetual state. Is a series of moments from in the now and a series of experiences. And we all know that life has its ups and downs, and we all have experienced the force of life in different ways. So it's natural feel and range of emotions. The goal isn't to be happy at all times, but to cultivate habits and a mindset that helps us to achieve that flow and happiness. It's a state of being in the now. Cultivating flow and happiness isn't just about feeling good, it's about enhancing our overall life satisfaction and productivity, feeling that we have a meaning and purpose in our life. And I want to mention that there are some resources here. We have two founders of positive psychology. The one is Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, a Hungarian American psychology, and he wrote a book called "This Foundational: The Psychology of Optimal Experience." It offers some concepts here for you to learn more about flow and practical insights on how to achieve flow in various aspects of life. Also, The Authentic Happiness by Martin Seligman. And he also offers a comprehensive guide to understanding and enhancing happiness using principles of positive psychologies. And I will be mentioning the PERMA framework that he created, and what PERMA stands for is a model for PERMA is for positive emotions, engagement, relationships, and meaning that helps us cultivate that state of flow. So, positive emotion is about experiencing joy, gratitude, and connection. I didn't want to include here hope, as Dr. Joe Dispenza, and I agree with him that hope is a beggar. So, joy, gratitude, connection are elevated states that contributes to have that positive energy and conducive to create more flow and happiness in our life. Engagement, to be fully engaged and absorbed in activities. As I mentioned before, I like cooking, and I enjoy very much if I am making a meal for friends and family. I enjoy that engagement with in this activity, and I can experience state of flow. Relationships also from PERMA. The R in PERMA is for relationships, and we are not islands. We need to cultivate positive and wonderful relationships around us that are authentic. And this promotes a state of well being in our lives, meaning having purpose and meaning in our life is also very important for us to cultivate a state of flow and happiness. Personally, I decided to go on this journey from 2022 to just dedicate my life to be the coach and the mentor that I always dreamed of being. It's been an amazing journey, but that has given me direction and meaning and purpose. Whether or not I have achieved all my goals, well, it is that journey and consistency, determination, and all these other values, it gets more directed to achieve what I want. And that's also what I want for many of you. And the A is for accomplishment. When we receive that feedback that our aims in life are getting us to the results that we want, that we're not bumping our heads continuously against the wall, but that we have this positive response from the world around us, this that tells us that our accomplishments are recognized, are observed, are make a difference, and that is something that helps us to achieve a sense of pride and joy and fulfillment. There are also apps, many apps that helps us in achieving a state of flow and happiness. Personally, I use the Waking Up app by Sam Harris. They have a Headspace, and they're all are aimed towards mindfulness, meditation, and to reduce stress. Another one is Calm and 10% Happier. All of them contribute to have this state of being in the now and cultivating more flow and happiness in small moments of our lives. So I wanted to demystify that and give you all this framework of the PEMA for you to assess what is possible for you. So there are many courses, there are many resources over YouTube as well. The Stoics, thousands of years ago, the Greek Stoics offer us principles for us to cultivate flow and happiness, to develop self control, to develop virtues of fortitude, commitment, endurance, and being also wisdom and courage. There are works that include the famous meditations of by Marcus Aurelius and Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. These are works that you can read to get some insights. I personally haven't read it for a while, but certainly some of Marcus Aurelius' meditations, it can give you some profound thinking about life, and that brings you to that state of flow and happiness. Wanted to give you some wrap up points, as this presentation's been quite fast for you to gain the most out of it. But when you're ready to transform your life by tapping into flow and boosting your happiness, I want you to think about these few points that I want to offer you. Identify what you are passionate about and engage in activities that naturally capture your interest and attention. And think what is possible for you. Is it a sport? Is it a creative activity? Is it something around children, people, writing, whatever that is? I would love for you to comment as well and let me know what that is. Set clear goals, clear aims. In my program, I teach you how to compose legacy goals. They are the events that you want to create in life. What do you need to learn in order to attract those events into your life? What is the legacy that will create around you? What is your intention? As our intention drives also our attention, and that also brings more clarity, because in the beginning sometimes we don't know to what exactly we want to create. So it's just taking that baby steps towards that. Set clear goals, eliminate distractions. It is quite important in this noisy world that we live with, a lot of uncertainty in these days, that we actually have control and focus on the prize. And that is requires us to be very, very strong. Practice mindfulness whenever possible, and being present in the moment enhances flow and also a state of happiness. Balance in challenge and skills that is positive. When there is too much challenge and the feedback, as I mentioned before, it reflects that you're bumping your head against the wall, well, that can be soul destroying. But balance that skill and challenge in a positive way. For me, it has been streaming live in these channels, in these environments, and being prepared, learning to stream, and well, a lot of other components, but that has been a balancing challenge and skills and cultivating positive relationships. I am here in Newcastle, travel 1,300 kilometers from the city where I had lived most of my life, Melbourne, and I am here also to cultivate positive relationships, meetings, meetups, visiting friends that I haven't seen for ages, and that also helps us to cultivate happiness. So the task or action steps is do something that you love and schedule time for it during your week. Set a specific goal related to that activity. What is it? Do you want to compose a purpose statement that will reflect your narrative, the narrative that you want to reflect in the world? Do you want to create something in your garden? Do you want to set a specific task, aim for this activity? Practice mindfulness at least 5 minutes before starting that activity. That means that you are totally immersed in the present, focusing on your breathing. And it's not about eliminating thoughts, but constantly coming back to the present moment when you are being overtaken by thoughts, noticing quickly who is the observer of that thought rather than being totally taken over by the thought and not even identifying it. That is a wonderful activity to practice that will bring us to the moment of mindfulness and in the now. Reclaiming your vision and rewriting your story also requires you to go through many of the above points that I just discussed. Identifying your passion, setting a legacy, building goals. If you don't know exactly what you want, delving into this exploration of your values and what you value in life, being present, balancing the skills and challenge, seizing opportunities by surrounding yourself with the people that will help you to embrace life to the fullest, and support you with validating the wonderful work that you are creating in the world with meaning and purpose. And this all of these will help you to create a state of flow and happiness. Well, I want to thank you so much for tuning in today on this very late broadcast for this presentation here from Newcastle. Wanted to thank you once again. I want to encourage you all to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. And I would love to offer additional resources. So feel free to leave me a message. And I believe that you have here in the channel my email address where you can contact me. And I look forward to our next presentation together where I will be sharing more of what I feel passionate about and how important it is to cultivate a state of flow and happiness, understanding that they are moment to moment experiences in the now. Thank you. And until next time, this is Maria Semple from New Life Coach. Bye for now.